WVPKLR News. I'm your host, Sean Cooper. As most of you know, we recently held a presidential debate between Congressman Paul Ryan and Vice President Joe Biden. What you also probably know is that Speaker Paul Ryan absolutely crushed the debate, and it looks like it is going to be the nail in the coffin for Vice President Joe Biden's campaign. Regardless, Joe Biden, like he often does, lied over and over in the debate. That's why I'm here with a special edition of Fact Check 101 to sort everything out and find the truth. After all, like I always say, somebody needs to keep old Joe in line. In this debate, we had two sections, foreign and domestic policy. Let's start with foreign policy because that was the first debate topic. Right off the bat, in Biden's opening statement, he said, "I have a great deal of respect for Congressman Ryan." This is the same Joe Biden that in 2012, in the vice presidential debate, came off as part comic meme artist, part condescending elder uncle, and part angry barroom debater. At least this time you let him speak without interrupting. Okay, now this one makes me laugh. He said that the unemployment rate was below 5%. Joe, you're a genius at manipulating numbers. Now, in your stats, 12 million people were jobless. Well, guess what? You left out the other 7 million people who said that they desperately want a job but stopped looking because the conditions are so bad. Oh, and what about the other 8 million people who are working part-time even though they need and are looking for full-time work? If you count these people, the number skyrockets to 14.3%, and we see that the unemployment rate has gone up since you've been in office. Let me just read this quote from Joe. "At home and abroad, we have a much better grasp on handling terrorism. Says the administration that created ISIS, I think terrorism at home and abroad has gotten much worse since you took office, and most would agree with me." Biden even said later in the debate, and I quote, "Over the last 8 years, we've been seeing an increasing number of attacks." Ouch, I think you just stepped on your own toes, Joe. Biden talked about not banning immigrants based on their religion. That's fantastic. Keep in mind, however, this is from the same administration that has been infringing upon people's religious rights ever since they've been in office. When answering an immigration question, Biden mentioned the heroics of our immigration policy in World War II. And do you realize that the day after the Pearl Harbor attacks, Roosevelt suspended naturalization, restricted mobility, interned people, and prohibited immigrants from owning items such as cameras and radios? Many of you probably remember the Gates of Hell comment Biden made when talking about terrorism in the debate. That was awesome. Honestly, the only bright spot of the debate for him. That was actually, what's that? He what? Oh, all right. Okay, never mind. I guess he apologized for saying that last week. He fact checked himself on that one. Never mind. Moving on. Biden said that ISIS has been losing ground. It's actually been gaining ground and power and influence all around the world, and you should read the New York Times article that came out. Now we go to the domestic policy portion of the debate, and it looks like Joe Biden actually did say something that wasn't a lie. Yeah, I guess we have a clip here of Biden telling the truth about Obamacare. This might be refreshing. Let's watch it. Oh, well, I agree. Okay. Also, concerning healthcare, he said privatization would make premiums go way up. Okay, have you seen what the premiums are going to be? Privatization would create competition and would open up several other low-cost avenues for consumers. You probably remember Biden's rant about raising taxes and then putting tougher regulations on businesses in order to keep them from going overseas. Joe, let me tell you something as long as they keep it between us, okay? The reason big businesses are going overseas is because of the high taxes that they're having to pay. Joe talked about how he sponsored the 1994 crime bill himself. That crime bill that you led called for a minimum sentencing for first-time drug offenders and was the kicking off of the era of mass incarceration. While Ryan is traveling city to city, listening intently to people's problems and finding solutions, Biden just says, let's throw them all in jail. One of the things that Obama and I have run into is one of the most unproductive Congresses in American history. Coming from Joe Biden, he was technically the president of the Senate. And then they said, we need more cooperation. Obama, he's refused to meet with members of Congress. This just blows my mind here. Concerning immigration and crime committed by illegal immigrants in our country, Biden said that there have been many reforms that we have proposed that have tackled this problem. This is one of Joe's most blatant lies. As the Center for Immigration Studies reports, crime rates by illegal citizens have never been higher in our country. Saying that there hasn't been any progress is completely untrue. That's what he said. Biden, that's kind of what people say when things have actually gotten worse. They say there hasn't been any progress, but we'll leave that. Biden said, and I quote, a fence will not keep people from going over, but it will keep leaders of cocaine from coming over. First of all, if a person can get over a fence, they could just throw the cocaine over and then climb over. If you ever played ball growing up, then you did that thing where you accidentally kicked or threw a ball over the fence, and then you have to climb over the fence, throw the ball back over, and then they could figure out ways to do that. I have a textbook with me right here. This is about roughly 2 kilos of cocaine. I heard you can put a couple of these in a backpack. If you did that, you could climb over the fence, and then the cocaine is over the fence with you said you couldn't get it over the fence. You could climb over the fence, and social programs give them a floor to live on. That's what he said about social programs. Mr. Vice President, when you make far less money when you're working full-time than when you're on welfare, then the welfare is acting as more of a ceiling for these people. They're literally taking the higher road financially by being on welfare. That's what these incentives are. I think we're done here. At least I want to be done. I could probably go on for the rest of the night, but I'm tired of talking. You're probably tired of listening, and I think we're all tired of the blatant lies here that we've heard from Joe Biden. So I'm Sean Cooper from WVKPRL News, and stay classy, America. Okay, let's get out of here.